Have you ever been sitting quietly in your own home, maybe reading the newspaper, maybe watching the rain, and suddenly felt a strange uneasiness, like something is paying attention to you, even though you're alone? I've had that feeling, and while it once sounded like imagination, today I'm not so sure. The truth is, in our modern world, there are more eyes and ears on us than ever before. When I was a boy in the 60s, privacy was simple. Close your door, draw the curtains, and your life was your own. Conversations stayed at the table, worries stayed between family, and you never wondered what the walls might hear. But now, privacy has become complicated, slippery, and sometimes feels almost impossible to protect. And here's what I want you to know. There are 5 everyday places where older adults are quietly being monitored. Not in science fiction ways, but in ordinary ways most of us don't notice. I'm going to walk you through them, not to frighten you, but to give you back some control. Because when you understand where the cracks are, you can patch them. And the last one on this list surprises almost everyone, even the careful ones. Before we dive in, if you find comfort in honest conversations like this, hit subscribe. We share stories that don't just pass time, they help make sense of it. Let's start with something familiar, the television. Remember when sets had wooden cabinets and rabbit ears? You twisted the knob, and that was it. But today's smart TVs are basically computers with big screens. They don't just show you programs, they track what you watch, how often, and when. That data often gets sent back to the manufacturer, bundled with millions of habits, and sometimes sold. I had a neighbor, an older man who streamed westerns on his new TV. One day, he told me he felt uneasy talking on the phone near it. He said, "Sam, sometimes I wonder if that thing's listening to me." I couldn't laugh it off. Many smart TVs have microphones and cameras. Some are for voice commands, others for video calls. But unless you adjust the privacy settings, you may not know if they're truly off. Think about the kinds of conversations that happen in front of a television. Sharing medical news with a spouse, chatting about family finances, or reminiscing with old friends. Those words should stay private. Yet, depending on how the device is set up, bits of those conversations might not stay inside your walls. For older adults who grew up believing home was sacred ground, this feels like an invisible guest in the living room. A guest you didn't invite and can't always send away. Next, let's talk about the phone, the lifeline we use to call family, snap photos, play games, or look up directions. But here's the truth. Very few apps are truly free. You might not pay with money, but you often pay with data. A crossword app may ask for your location. A flashlight might want your contacts. A woman from church once told me she mentioned a shoe brand at the kitchen table, and the next day ads for those shoes flooded her phone. She laughed, but inside she was uneasy. "How did it know?" she asked. The answer is permissions. Most of us tap allow without reading. That's when the silent tracking begins. Your movements, conversations near the phone, shopping habits. The information doesn't stay on the device. It flows into networks that build profiles of you. And here's what makes this dangerous. Once a profile is built, it can follow you everywhere online. That's why you might look up one product and suddenly feel like you can't escape the ads. For seniors, this often means being targeted with costly or even predatory offers. A single search for joint supplements can unleash a wave of pitches. Worse, some apps aren't secure, leaving cracks hackers can exploit. Your phone should serve you. But too often, it's the other way around. You end up serving the apps, handing out details until little is left private. Now step outside, whether at the grocery store, church, pharmacy, or simply walking the dog, chances are you're on camera. Years ago, surveillance meant a blurry tape collecting dust. Today, many cameras include recognition tools. They don't just record, they can identify, link your face to databases, and track movements across locations. A friend of mine visited 3 pharmacies in 1 week to find a prescription. Soon after, he began seeing ads from all 3 stores online. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe cameras tied to marketing systems connected the dots. And it isn't just stores. Walk through an airport, a bank, or even a public square, and you may be logged into systems you'll never see. What bothers me most isn't the cameras themselves, it's the unknown afterward. Who owns the footage? How long is it stored? Who gets access? Answers aren't always clear. For older adults, it strikes deeper. Independence is already fragile with age. Knowing every errand may be logged and stored can feel like another freedom slipping away. It raises the question, are these cameras protecting us or simply watching? Now let's come back inside. Voice assistants, the little gadgets that play music, remind you of appointments, or even call loved ones. They promise convenience. But the trade-off is that they're always listening. They don't just wake up when you say their name. Sometimes they mishear, capturing snippets of private conversations that end up saved in online accounts. A man I know discovered dozens of recordings stored from his device, words he never intended to record. Some companies even allow employees to review short clips for accuracy. Imagine strangers hearing you discuss your health or finances. And it doesn't stop there. These assistants often link with doorbells, thermostats, and lights, creating a map of your daily life. When you wake, when you leave, how long you're gone. For someone living alone, that might sound harmless. But think about it. Your entire rhythm stored in a digital profile. That's a lot of trust to put in a plastic cylinder on the counter. And finally, the one that surprises most, your online searches. We treat search bars like confidants. We type in questions we'd never say aloud. Health worries, money questions, even private doubts. But searches aren't private. Everyone is logged. Not just the words, but how you search. Do you pause before clicking? Do you compare results? Do you scroll nervously late at night? These tiny actions reveal more than you think. And here's the consequence. That picture is valuable. Advertisers use it to target you with offers. Some are useful, many are not. Scammers sometimes buy this data to send predatory pitches. I like to think of searches as diary entries. Years ago, I kept a notebook by the bed. It was private, tucked away. Online searches are different. They're like diary entries written on neon paper, copied and stored in filing cabinets you'll never see. For older adults, it cuts deep because so many of our searches touch on sensitive issues. Health, retirement, end-of-life planning. These are tender human areas of life. Seeing them turned into marketing opportunities feels like a betrayal. So here we are, 5 places where privacy slips through the cracks. Televisions that watch back, apps that ask for more than they need, cameras that identify more than they protect, assistants that listen longer than we expect, and searches that reveal more than we realize. I don't share this to make you fearful. My purpose is awareness, because once you see the leaks, you can patch them by adjusting T settings, limiting app permissions, covering a camera, or trying a privacy-focused search engine. We can't turn the clock back to the 60s, but we can decide how much of ourselves we're willing to share. That choice is part of wisdom. At this stage of life, peace of mind is precious, dignity is priceless, and privacy is woven into both. So take a look around your home, your phone, your computer. Ask yourself, who's listening, who's watching, and what am I willing to share? And then, if you've ever caught technology listening when you didn't expect it, share your story in the comments. You might help someone else protect their own. Thank you for spending this time with me. Stay wise, stay safe, and remember, even in a world full of watchers, we still have each other.